Welcome back to Final Expense Telesales. My name is Dana Neeson, and welcome to my leadership series. Each week, I'm going to try hard to feature one of our top agents who's stepping into the role of leadership. I would like to introduce you to the best part of Empowered Life Group, which are the people that are leading from the front, setting examples, have lots of experience, and are ready to pour into you. If you are just now finding this channel, thank you so much for being here. My name is Dana Neeson. I'm the owner-founder of Empower Life Group. We are a remote telesales agency specializing in simplified issue life insurance. We're supported by Lasting Mark, the IMO, and my job is to try to help you guys have stronger, more sophisticated conversations. My first guest in this leadership series is Mr. Shedrick Cooper, coming to us from, where are you at?
Oh, I'm from Thomasville, Georgia. Sorry.
There we go,
I
Georgia.
was thinking about the last company.
Coming to us from Georgia. His agency, your agency name is Final Touch Legacy Group?
Yep, final
Final
touch.
Touch Legacy Group. I'm very excited for our audience to hear your story, how you came to Empower Life Group, how long you've been in the business, all the good things, and what you're looking to accomplish and what type of agents you're looking to attract. So we're going to get right into it. Shedrick, how long have you been in life insurance for?
So it's going on 2 years. It'll be 2 years in August. If you see me on social media, Facebook specifically, and even a little bit on YouTube, I got in insurance August 2023. I still remember I was outside renting cars. Then I ran into this guy. It's so funny. His wife got into a car accident. He was like, man, you seem like a pretty nice guy. You want to make some extra money? I was like, sure, let's go. And then I went up and I shadowed him for one day and I saw what they were doing. I was like, all right, I quit my job. I'm gonna focus on
Wow.
my business. So it's been really, really good. I've had a lot of ups. Recently, I had some downs, but overall, I mean, the life insurance industry has been great.
Okay, well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. So you started 2 years ago, and were you a broker?
No,
Um,
sorry. So I was captive. I was at a
okay.
captive agency. I think I still hold the record at that agency. I did 76,000 in issued business in the month of May 2024.
Wait,
So
wait, 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 wait. How much issued production in 1 month? Say that one more time.
$76,128.34 to be exact. It's
Issued.
issued business.
Holy cow. So you know a thing or two about how to sell final expense insurance over the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still have a lot of room to grow, but I think I almost got it down. Almost got it down pat.
You know, one of the things that I actually love the most about your story, because, I came from a captive agency too. And for the record, we came from different captive agencies. We've
Yes.
never worked together before. And one of the advantages that you have and that I have is that we have to sell from a position of strength because we didn't used to have all these different carriers that we could shop with. I mean, it was you're either this or you're this. And that's what we got, right? And
Exactly.
to be able to sell that much in with one carrier, I mean, that just speaks volumes to the type of sales professional that you are, really.
I mean, when I sometimes I have to sit down and remind myself, me hopping into the broker world, it's like I got all these options. And sometimes I can kind of get overwhelmed, but I have to realize, like, okay, I was with one company and we had four different plans.
Yeah.
And I think about all the great things I've been able to do with just one carrier. So it's all about, just changing your perspective and your mindset with it. Like you don't need 50 carriers.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I always say, the client buys from you. So
So
that's
here's
my
an interesting question because if I was sitting here watching this and I'm holding the record for the number one agent at the company, I'm thinking, why in the world would you ever leave?
oh man. Well, when I first got into insurance, I didn't know anything. I was very green and it's called like an LOA, license only agent. So, I wasn't, my eyes got open to things. And it's like, once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you start understanding more, it's hard to just turn a blind eye to it. And I'm not saying anything bad about the company that I was with. I met some great people. I still have some pretty great relationships with some of those people. And, I just wanted more for myself. I wanted to build a business. And I felt like that specific model, that structure wasn't the best fit for me. So, I went out into the broker world. I just recently came from a different IMO. I'm not going to say any names. And I started off really good. I made a lot of money. I started building and growing, and I made some connections there as well. But when I really took a step back and realized I was killing it, but my team wasn't, I feel like we was missing certain things. So me being a leader, I don't really care about myself as much. I care about the people that I'm leading. So I always want to make sure I put them in the best position possible. So that led me to the great Dana Neese.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. We went way too fast for me. So, so you were with the captive company for how long?
A year.
A year. Okay.
I
And you're
left
coming up on
July
2 years. So you were
26th.
with the other IMO for 9 months?
About hopefully, let's see. No, because actually I went broker with the captive company after so
Oh,
I
okay.
stopped from being a license only agent, went broker for a couple months. A whole bunch of crazy stuff started happening.
Okay.
Wow, stuff. I'm not gonna get into that, but
Sure.
then I went with the broker. I went the broker route, and I was there six months, maybe seven. And
Okay.
then things like I said, I was doing really good. I even told my team was like, guys, I can stay here and I'll figure it out. But when I hired these agents, I gave them my word, hey, I'm going to help you change your life. So I always say love the people and, use the money to help the people. So I'm more of a people person, put people first. So,
Right.
why I started searching because I'm not too proud to say like it's areas I know I need to grow in as a leader. When it comes to sales, like I've sold a lot of AP, but I've never sat down and broke down my own sale process. I don't even know. Well, I'm learning how to do a sale process now,
Right.
but it's just different. There's so many different factors, and I think it's all about delegating. Instead of me trying to be great at this one thing right now, why not work with somebody who's already done the work, and I learn from that person, and then the next people I bring on is like now it's easier to do that.
Exactly. And so I would call you, and I've called you this before, I would call someone like you a unicorn, right? And I think that too many people in this industry do massive recruiting in order to find unicorns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it a numbers game. But when that unicorn, when someone like you sees the opportunity to grow a team and what that can look like, and then all you know is just find unicorns, right? Find the people that are sick, and you start seeing the churn
Mm-hmm.
and the exhaustion of how do I teach what I'm doing? Like, and then your agents are spending money and they're going broke, and like you're making overrides off of other people's failures. That's what the industry is not talking about enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so going from a place where you were doing very well, but your agents weren't,
Mm-hmm.
what was like, I guess if you could list some of the things that brought you over here and what you've already seen in changes in your agents in such a short period of time.
Well, one of the biggest things is the last place I was at, the culture was good, but like just being here, being with Empower, Last Mark, it's just you guys align with who I am as a person.
Mm.
Like I love people. And even my agents, man, my agents text me late at night, call me like, I'm so excited where we are. I was thinking about leaving, going somewhere else. I was like, thank God you didn't. And, like, it's just, it feels so good because I hear the belief and the conviction in my agents' voices. And it was something, I think it started back in, I say March. Some of my agents, I can tell they were down. And I was still producing at a high level. I think in March I did like 44,000. But like I said, one of my top agents that I brought with me, we both started at the capital company together, and he trusted me. And then when he came with me, it was like completely different. And
Mm.
he lost faith in himself, and then he ended up going a different route, which I respect because he has a wife and kids. So, I know what my team can do. I know the kind of people I decided to hire. And just seeing them seem so deflated, it wasn't a great feeling. So,
Right.
just being here and them getting to see you train and getting to see other people go through things, it's just a really great feeling and they love it. They really love it. So it's hard I can't even put it in words, to be honest.
What do you think it's like for agents to be able to come into something where they can have a little bit more control of their marketing and
Mhm.
their lead cost? Do you think that that has sort of an impact on the overall
Yeah, I
process
think
of
it's
running a business?
huge. I think it's really, 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 really important, especially like you said, just agents being able to control, how much money they're spending on leads. Because I mean, if we're being honest, a lot of people that join the industry, they don't have $10,000 to start.
Right.
So just being able to have that control and know what's going out there, and I think that just gives them so much more confidence. Because think about it, when you're buying leads from other vendors, you don't know what they're saying. You're just spending money and hoping like, okay, I hope this is about life insurance.
Right.
So and I know that can be very frustrating, especially being a new agent. You're new, you don't have much sales experience, you don't know how to take a client from thinking something's free to closing a deal. That's hard. And you spending all this money. And some people like this is their last stop. Like they're all into it. So, I think it's huge for them to know and be able to see what's going on. That's
Right,
huge.
because now they're plugged into the Slack and into the production channels, and they can actually see that people are converting business and being profitable off 5, 6, 7, $8 leads and being able to get a lot more of them. Plus, you can get leads from other sources, right? Like we're not, limiting you to do it that way, but just kind of opening your eyes to something else that's out there.
Exactly.
So as a leader, and someone who wants to build and grow and scale their team, what's it like knowing that you have like a whole university to send your agents to help them learn in a systematic approach? What's that like for you?
It's real huge because, like I said, for myself, that's something I didn't have. Like when I got into the industry, all I had was a script and leads, and I dialed. It was really I really never really gotten training before, to be honest. I never had any kind of training. So for newer agents to be able to have a guide and follow something from A all the way down to Z, as far as like, okay, how you going to get your leads, how the CRM works, how the dollar works,
Yeah,
how like being able to practice with the carriers. I have one agent, she's big time, Janie. She's lost so many deals just because she didn't understand the carriers. So
right.
just able to see those things, I think that's really big. And also, too, it's kind of like when you're working a job. You don't go to orientation and you wait, a month before you start working. You have stuff to do in between time. So keeping agents downtime as small as possible and keeping them engaged, I think that's real important, real big.
That's good. That's good. As far as the type of people that you're looking for to bring on your team, like what does your ideal person look like? What type of commitment do you want them to have? And who would be like a good fit for coming onto your team?
Well, I'm an athlete. So I would say most of the time when it comes to hiring somebody, I think it comes down to like what are the discipline. If they have discipline, if they're willing to work hard, even when it looks like it's not working. Because
Mhm.
my thing is all work works, either it's working for you or it's working on you. So just being able to constantly show up for themselves. And, I always say, well, what we do is not for everybody, but it's for the right people. Right. So just being committed and willing to show up to training, do the work, make the dials, and commit to growing and developing. I think if you can do that, you can work. You can work with me, not for me. Work with me. So
I
yeah.
love that. So back to being a leader.
Mhm.
I think agent retention and that churn is so important when it comes to being confident in bringing people in. So, as far as not just what you get here with Empower, but also what you get through the support of Lasting Mark and the Life Insurance Academy and the leadership calls we get with them, do you think that will help make your agents stickier? I guess would be the word, where you think they have a more of an opportunity to see success because they have access to more? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I think I think that will keep more agents because if they're structured. And from everything I've seen so far, agents are literally set up to win from the first day they start all up until they write their first policy. So I think the biggest thing is, of course, the agent has to do their part. But I think, you know, just having all the right resources, having the right people, having people actually showing up to support them, I think that's what most agents miss. I've interviewed a lot of agents, and one of the first things they tell me is like mentorship, coaching, guidance. So comp level can be good. You can have good leads, but you can't just take a new agent and just throw them out there and not have no support. I think you need three things in this industry to be successful. You need good leads, comp, and mentorship. And I think mentorship is at the top then leads, in my opinion. So
Though there's a lot of people, a lot of leaders that have been in the business for a very long time that are kind of naysayers, and they're so jaded because of all of the churn and burn they have personally experienced with agents that I have had people say, they don't need all of that, right? Like you can build them these universities and courses and they're not even going to use it. Or it is just a numbers game and the people that want it are going to find a way to make it work. Like they truly believe that to their core. And I'm not faulting them for that, but like, what do you believe?
well, it's so funny. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. So you have like they always say only 8% of people make it, right?
Yeah.
So I believe, and this is no offense to anybody, I believe it's like that because people don't want to take the time out to develop people anymore. And they want
Mm.
everything to be fast. But I think about how many agents that can be really good agents if you take the time out and to sit down with them and develop. Like I don't mind holding an agent hand, So I think that you can do so much more with less. I mean, I've seen it done. You don't have to have 1,000 agents to get to $1 million a month. You can take 50 people if they're trained and developed, because I've seen this done at my captive agency. 50 people can write $1 million.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you
Easy. What
put
is
the
that?
time into them, you put the effort into them.
A million divided by 50. I mean, wait, did I do that math right? A million agents divided by, I mean, $1 million, that's 20,000 a month. So 20,000 arguably would be a very solid producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Issue paid. So to have 50 agents writing 20,000 a month is, I don't think it's unreasonable as long as they're getting they're they're given the opportunity to show up for that training, structure, support, mentorship, guidance, but they do have to show up and put in the work, right? Because we can only do so much for them. We can only provide so much for them that I think that sometimes agents get really excited about the opportunity and then they look at it and they're like, whoa, that's a lot of work,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Like, I don't know if I really do want to sit at my desk all day for 8 to 10 hours. I don't know if I want to have my calls listened to. I don't know if I want to go into the live dial rooms and have everybody listen to me while I dial and like really put themselves out there to challenge themselves to get better, but not trying to scare anyone. We don't require that, but like that's some of the things that we do
That's
here.
what it is.
It's just what it is. Yeah. So, well, that's super exciting. I mean, I am honored that you've chosen Empower Life Group to partner with, and we have big, big goals here. And this is just one of many benchmarks that we're going to come across in your journey in life insurance to making you a really big agency, but with integrity and doing it the right way. So, what advice would you have for agents that are trying to figure out where to go, or maybe they feel stuck somewhere and they feel called to join, your group? Like, what advice would you give them? Like, maybe they can't get released, and so they feel like afraid, like they can't leave. Do you have other carriers you could offer, or what advice in general can you give someone?
Yes, I do have access to other carriers. If you happen to get stuck with IMO, that won't be a problem. And I would say the biggest thing is don't allow fear to hold you back. you know, and I think I mean, you say it all the time, humans are afraid of change. So
Yeah.
you have some agents that are sitting something for a long period of time, know they're not happy, know they're not having the success that they want, they're not getting the guidance and leadership that they're looking for, but they're standing just because it's just a comfortable place. But I think in order to get what you want out of anything in life, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. So, just taking a risk on yourself, taking a chance. Like I said, I've interviewed a lot of people so far, and you know, it's more than just leads and dialing the phone.
Right.
You really need mentorship, coaching, and guidance. And you need somebody who's excited to sit beside you and do it. That's one thing I love. I just did my first two trainings on my own, just focus on the first 30 seconds of the call, just being able to work with you for 1 week, and I already feel a difference. So, just making sure you have mentorship, you show up for yourself, and you're willing to do the work, like I said, even when it looks like it's not working. And it just take time. Of course, you got to have time. Time is important, but just not giving up on yourself. That's
Exactly. Well, I think we should earmark a follow-up interview for you in 3 months from now, and show the world how far you've come because in no time at all, we are definitely going to see Final Touch Legacy Group at the top of that leaderboard. I know for sure. And everyone's going to be having fun and happy doing it.
I'm
That's
looking
the
forward
goal.
to it. I can see a lot of great things happening. So I'm super excited. And I do want to thank you again for, just giving me something I've been looking for a long time. I really
That's
appreciate it.
awesome. How can people get in touch with you? And actually, you have everyone call you Coop.
Yeah,
So if
probably cool.
everyone calls him Coop. And so, Coop, how can someone get in touch with you directly if they want to work with you?
All right. So you can hit me up on Facebook. I think my name is, let me see, where's my phone?
All right, I can help you find it. Let's
Help
see.
me out, Dana.
There's no editing here, so we're doing this in real time. You are under your full name, Shedrick Cooper,
Shedrick Cooper, or you can also follow
right
me on
here.
Instagram. Yep. You can follow me on Instagram at King_Coop11.
That's right. King with two G's.
Two G's. Two G's.
King with two G's underscore Coop 11 is his Instagram handle. Pretty soon we'll get him active on YouTube.
Yeah. I need to be more active on social media. I've always been a guy that like to sit behind the scenes, but like I told Dana, I want to be uncomfortable and I want to be a better communicator and a better speaker. So I'm excited.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Coop. And we'll do another interview here in a few months. But if you want to join Coop and Final Touch Legacy Group and be a part of the Empower Life Group family, please reach out to him directly. You can also contact me directly. All my contact information is in the description below of this video. And just say the name Coop, and I will make sure that we get you on his team. Thanks so much for being
Cool.
here.
Thank you, Dana.